quick hitters before we get on out of here for the day. We'll continue in the NBA. Did y'all see that game last night? Houston Rockets, Memphis Grizzlies. Did you see it? I know I saw it. Grizzlies edged the Rockets 120-119 in a battle between the 2 and 3 seeds in the Western Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is the Western Conference Finals matchup, I'd love it. I'd love it. Ja Morant didn't play last night. Şengün didn't play last night for the Houston Rockets. I don't give a damn. That kid, Jalen Green, is going to be a star. That kid, Amen Thompson. Remember, I keep telling y'all, this brother turned 22 January 30th. This brother, Amen Thompson, special, fierce defender, rebounder, competitor, and he's got a game that's just blossoming. Ime Udoka, to me, is one of the best coaches in the game. He's going to win a championship in Houston. Houston Rockets. I mean, Jenkins can coach his butt off. Memphis is Memphis, to be respected. Ja Morant brings his game. Make no mistake about it. Memphis is formidable. But the Houston Rockets, I'm telling y'all, Houston is going to make some noise. Houston, I'm not even sure it's right to say they're a piece away. I just think they're experience away. I love what I'm seeing in Houston. I love what Ime Udoka is doing. Keep your eyes on it, y'all. Houston Rockets. They coming, y'all. They coming. Now let's talk about the All-Star game, please. The Eastern and Western Conference teams have been named, but there's a glaring omission on the Eastern roster. In some people's eyes anyway, it's LaMelo Ball. Ball is now the first player to lead his position group in fan voting that is not named an All-Star. The voting format changed in 2016-2017 season to factor in fans, media, and players, okay? And that's why LaMelo Ball didn't get in, because the media and the players didn't have him as the top guy. The fans did because they want to see a brother put on the show. He averaging like 28 points a game. But he's shooting like 42% from the field and like 33% from three-point range. He's a volume shooter. I'm not questioning LaMelo's game. The brother can ball. Here's what I would tell you. Your team is 12-32. That's what happens. You miss all-star games when your team is 20 games under 500. That's what happens. That's the way it goes. And to me, that's not the biggest snub. Ladies and gentlemen, Kyrie Irving for the Dallas Mavericks. What about him? What about Kyrie Irving? I got an even better. You see what he's doing. 24.2 points, 48% shoot from the field, 42% from the three-point range, and they win when he's on the court, even without Luka Doncic. Kyrie is special, and he's made for All-Star Weekend. Why he ain't there? Here's another one, ladies and gentlemen. You ready for this? How about the Clippers' Norman Powell? I'm not in any way saying James Harden doesn't deserve it, because he does. He's had a damn good season, and he's really resurrected his career and has reminded us all of the respect that he deserves. James Harden, I'm talking about. But how about Norman Powell? Brother averaging about 24 a game, shooting about 43% from three-point range. The Clippers are 7 games over 500. And this dude has been a reserve his entire career and has worked his tail off, never cheats you, always comes ready to ball. Always. Norman Powell, to me, that's the biggest snub of them all. Clippers are 7 games over 500. Kawhi Leonard has missed about 38, 39 games. And the Clippers are 7 games over 500. And the top 6 seed in the Western Conference. Why the hell ain't Norman Powell there? He deserves it. He deserves it. I'm just saying. Let's talk about NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, who made waves earlier this week, by the way. Silver appeared on the Dan Patrick Show and said that he was in favor of the league shortening the game from 48 minutes to 40 minutes. Here's what the commissioner had to say. Quote, "The NBA is the only league that plays 48 minutes. I am a fan of 4 10-minute quarters. I'm not sure that many others are. I mean, putting aside what it means for records and things like that, I think that a 2-hour format for a game is more consistent with modern television habits. Incidentally, if you went to a 40-minute game with the minutes around load management and resting, it would be the equivalent of, I don't know exact math, taking like 15 games off the season." I don't want to hear that. I get where Adam Silver's coming from. Limit the minutes. It amounts to about 15 less games a year when you take into account the minutes, because you're chopping 8 minutes off of regulation. I get that part. I get the part about the modern day era of television watchers and how it appears to be viewer friendly with what he was suggesting. Sir, Commissioner, that is not the problem. The problem is the effort. How many concessions are you going to make for players who just don't want to come to work? I mean, come on. Come on now. You chop it down to 40 minutes, it still ain't going to stop them from load managing. It's still not going to stop them from missing games. It's still not going to stop them from being lackadaisical at times. I'm not talking about all. I'm not talking about most, but some. It's still not going to get them to prioritize stuff like All-Star Weekend. The commissioner, somebody sent me a text yesterday, and I thought it was very, very profound, especially when they were talking about All-Star Weekend. They said the players look at the league like a bank, not like partners. The bank has your money. We got to go to the bank to get the money. So, okay, that's what we got to do. But we don't like going to the bank. We don't like dealing with them. But we have no choice because they got our money. The person that sent me that text was absolutely right. That's how the players view the league. And the sad part about it is they get away with it only because Adam Silver is an incredibly player-friendly, nice man. Y'all lucky as hell. Commissioner David Stern isn't alive and in that seat, and you didn't have to deal with him. Y'all know good and well y'all wouldn't even try it. Let me tell y'all something. And I want everybody to listen. I want my whole team out there to listen. I want my team right here to listen. I want to tell you something about David Stern, and I'm not casting any aspersions on the man. I love the man. We had our battles and issues in the past, but in the years leading up to his passing, we cultivated a very close relationship, and I grew to just love him and respect the hell out of him. And I appreciated the advice and the counsel and the straight, candid, no-nonsense approach he had with me, okay? Let me tell y'all a little story. David Stern once said this to a network head executive. I'm not going to tell you which network. It wasn't mine. I'm not going to tell you which network. I'm not going to tell you the name of the person. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm going to give you an example of who David Stern was. David Stern wanted somebody to come to a game with him, fly out with him and go to a game with him. One of their network executives. And the executive said, Dave, I appreciate it, and I will come with you. And I'll bring my kids, because David Stern had asked him to bring his kids with him. Let's go to the game. And the executive said to him only on one condition. You can't call me a dumb motherfucker in front of my kids. That's a true story. What is the lesson appeal from that? David Stern would say that to anybody. He pulled no punches. When we got in an argument one day early in my career, he called me a piece of shit. And said, lose the number, and hung up on me. And we didn't talk for 2 years. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of countless victims of his diatribes and wraths. Michael Jordan knows about his wrath. Allen Iverson knows about his wrath. Dwyane Wade knows about his wrath, along with countless others, players, coaches. I saw him walk up to a coach that was critical of the referees, and he walked up to the coach and smiled right at courtside as he was walking to his seat, and he says, do you like your job? And the coach said, of course, I love it. He said, well, you better shut the fuck up if you want to keep liking it, because it won't be here for long if you don't learn to shut up. And walked away right in front of me and other media members. David Stern in play. Adam Silver doesn't have to be that. I don't think he's capable of being that. But he cares so much about the players. My advice to him would be, care about those who care about you. and leave the rest be to your discretion. Because you got a league to run. That would be my advice to Adam Silver, who I also have a great relationship with and I respect the hell out of, and I think he does a great job. Our last quick hitter is a shout out to the one and only Dwyane Wade. The Miami Heat legend and Hall of Famer revealed yesterday that he had surgery on his kidney in 2023 to remove a tumor. Wade said doctors removed 40% of his right kidney and that test on that tumor showed it was cancerous. He also said he was thankful that he decided to go forward with the procedure while acknowledging the decision itself was a low point in his life. I've been tight with D-Wade for years. I had no idea about this. Nobody tells you everything. I'm just happy that my man seems well and in good spirits. He was out of the country a couple of days ago. He and I spoke. One of the best people I've ever covered in professional sports. Just a good-hearted, soulful, decent at his core human being. Even when he was mad at you, he didn't come at you wrong. Class personified. One of the best human beings ever. Thank God he's okay. Thank God he's feeling well. Wishing him nothing but continued health moving forward. I love this brother. He's good people. He's one of the best people I know and I've ever covered in professional sports in my life. So I'm very, very relieved that he seems to be okay.